this is my channel, Theni's Thoughts. Welcome back. Sorry, I'm wearing my glasses. I don't usually do my glasses in my official setup in my bookshelves because, I don't know, the glare is usually pretty bad, so I hope it's okay, but I just did not feel like putting eyeballs in. You know those days? Anyway, also, look at my really cute shirt. I just think it's really adorable. I went kind of book nerd shopping crazy on Tea Turtle, and so now I have a lot of book related shirts from Tea Turtle that you're going to see me wearing those a lot for the next probably several weeks. In any case, what are we doing today? Today we are going to be doing the Birthstone Book Tag. It is still May. It is still my birthday month, so I'm still celebrating in this month of May, and I'm doing a book tag that was originally created by JG, and this is her original tag. I will link the original tag down below in the description, and I will go through the prompts for each birthstone, and you can get an idea of what I think about some of those. And it was kind of a fun thing to do and figure out some of the answers to these. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So for obviously the first month of January, the birthstone is Garnet, and Garnet is known for warding off negative forces and evil energies. So the prompt for this is name a book with darkest or evilest character. I don't know if I would say the evilest character, but I think one of the best villains ever written in history and life for me is going to be from Shakespeare's Othello, which is one of his tragedies, and that would be the villain Iago. And I know everyone thinks of Iago, Aladdin's Iago, which doesn't even compare to the actual Shakespeare Iago. Let me tell you, he is such a petty little bitch. And all of his monologues are positively the best for a villain. When I go to worst villain or my favorite villain, Iago is always where I go, and Othello is one of my favorite Shakespeare plays, so that's where my head goes. That's what I think. Next, we have February, which is the birthstone is Amethyst. Purple obviously associated with royalty. So name a book with regal qualities, and the book I picked for that is going to be A Prince on Paper by Alyssa Cole. This is from the Reluctant Royal series. This is about Johann and Naya, and Johann is a prince. He is definitely considered a reluctant prince. He also is considered a playboy. He does all the things to get the tabloids' attention on him to avoid and distract from the rest of his family and to protect them. And Naya is, I think she's a relative of someone from the other books, and they end up with trying to start a fake engagement. Naya is also strong in her own right, so I feel like they're both royal in their own ways, and I love them so much. And this is definitely one of my favorites from the Reluctant Royal series, so definitely worth checking out. Next is going to be March, which is Aquamarine. The aquamarine is kind of a washed out color, like a washed out blue. So name a wishy-washy character or someone who's not strong or a follower. I had a really hard time with this question. I really couldn't think of a character that I really felt fit that. And if there are wishy-washy characters, I don't remember them because they're terrible characters, so I didn't bother remembering. So I couldn't really think of an answer to that one. But then I thought of, I don't know if I'd call her wishy-washy, but I definitely would call her not reliable, and I would definitely call her a follower in her own way, which would be Lydia from Pride and Prejudice. Lydia going off to Wickham's harebrained scheme and ruining the rest of their family definitely seems like someone not reliable and someone who is a follower following Wickham's terrible scheme. I don't know if it's a wishy-washy, but it definitely is not reliable and ruined her whole family for a guy who was not going to be marrying her. It seemed like it fit. Lydia, Lydia, Lydia. Next we have April. The birthstone is Diamond. Diamond in the rough. Name a book you loved but is not well known. And this is always the book that I think of when I think of that, is going to be The Book of Flying by Keith Miller. This is a book about the story of Pico. That he goes on a journey to gain his wings in order to win the heart of the girl he loves. And he is a poet and librarian. I think it's beautifully written. I think it's a gorgeously written book. It's been a long time since I've read it, and actually I didn't own a copy. I recently came across this in a used bookstore, and I immediately got it. I remember reading it a long time ago and really enjoying it. So it's an underrated book that I really, really loved, and I recommended it to several people, and they have also really, really loved it. So I put that one for this. Next is May, which is Emerald, my birthstone. I'd say I love Emerald, but green is absolutely my least favorite color, so you'll hardly ever, rarely ever see me wearing green, much less wearing emeralds, so I only own like very few emerald pieces for my birthstone, and also it's very expensive. Genuine emerald is, at least. I don't have a lot of emerald things, but I do appreciate my birthstone from afar, just not on me, preferably. But emerald is known to balance energy. Name 2 characters who balance each other well. And for this one, I thought of, I mean, it's technically a retelling, but it still fits. Is going to be A Study in Charlotte by Brittany Cavaro. This is a retelling of Holmes and Watson, only Holmes is a girl and Watson is a boy, and it is their direct descendants. They're like great-great-grandchildren of the original fictional duo. Only in this book, they are not fictional, they are their own duo, and they meet up and solve a mystery together. And I just think, I mean, obviously the Holmes and Watson, they're OG, like they perfectly balance each other, and that's why they're paired up together in mysteries in the first place. But I think especially A Study in Charlotte does it really well and balances the 2 of them really well, so that's why I chose them for that. Next we have June, which is Pearl, and Pearl is known for loyalty. Name a character loyal to the end. And for this I thought of Triss from the Divergent series. Triss is definitely loyal to a fault, loyal to her cause, loyal to the people she cares about, even when they backstab her, even when things go down that is negative. Loyal to the very end, absolutely. I thought that really fit her character, and that was a character I thought of, so I decided to go ahead and put her down. Next is July, which is Ruby, which is like a blood red color. So name a book that made your blood boil or angry. So I really had to think about this one. I couldn't think of something right off the bat. I had to, because anything on my bookshelves that made me angry is probably not a book that I kept necessarily. So I had to go on my Goodreads, and I just scrolled through some of my 1 stars, and I did come up with something that makes my blood boil, but it's not necessarily one book, it's actually a series. The series is called My Merlin series by Priya Artis. It was an independent book, I think. They're indie books. So I got them on Kindle a while ago. I think when I looked at these, I read them back in 2012 or 2013. I picked them up because the premise was this girl gets involved with, I think it's like a school or some sort of institutions or something, where Merlin is at the helm, and she ends up starting a romance with Merlin. I love that. I loved an Arthurian legend with Merlin having a love interest, so I was all on board, except spoilers if you ever want to read the series, but the reason that it boils in my blood is the fact the first book was amazing, and then the next 2 books, she introduces an entirely new character who isn't Merlin, and the main character goes for him instead. The whole book series is My Merlin series. The last book of the series is called My Ever Merlin or something, and like, she doesn't end up with Merlin. I'm sorry, what? I signed up for a Merlin series. This is not what I got. That made me so angry and so upset. That, ironically enough, funnily enough, that particular 1-star review of the 3rd book has gotten the most likes that I have ever gotten from any book. So I feel like I'm not alone in that regard, because it is an independent book, so it's not as well reviewed. So people definitely responded, though, to my review of my disappointment about this not being about Merlin. I signed up for Merlin. I'm still looking for that Merlin love story. Anyway, if you have one, please let me know and put it down in the comments. Because, yes, it still makes me upset. That series was set up so well, and it was such a disappointment, and it still makes me upset, obviously, to this day, thinking about it, and remembering about it, and going, oh yeah, disappointed. Next, we have August, which is Peridot, and that is a pale green. It's pales in comparison. Name a supporting character who you like better than the main character. The character that I thought of for this prompt, it took me a while, but I think the character that I thought of for this prompt was Zenny, who is from Rafe, which is by Rebecca Witherspoon. Rafe and Sloane, I think her name was the main couple in the Rafe's book. I actually didn't really care for Rafe. It's a booktube favorite, though. A lot of romance-stagrammers, other romance peoples really, really like that one. It's not really a favorite of mine. And Zenny was from that, and I loved Zenny. And then she ended up getting her own book, so it all worked out. But definitely she was a side character that I liked way more than I liked the two leads in that particular book. So that's who I ended up choosing. And Zenny's book I liked better overall as well. So good call on getting Zenny getting her own book. Rebecca Weatherspoon. Good call. Next is September, which is Sapphire, which is blue like the calming ocean. Name a book with a calming effect. For that, for me, is always going to be Ella Enchanted, Gail Carson Levine. This is my copy from when I was 12 years old. If I need a comfort read, this is the book that I turn to. Or if I need, like, everything's not right in the world and I need everything to be right in the world again, this is my go-to book for life. So I know it's a children's book and I'm in my 30s, but I do not care. I will still pull it out, read it, and love it all over again. Over and over. So yes, it is still my comfort read. And break in case of emergency, though, not something that I do particularly often, but I usually reread at least 1 or 2 times a year. That is my comfort read. Do not take it away from me. Next is going to be October, which is Opal, which Opal is iridescent. There's several different kinds of opal, but the particular opal Jay talks about is iridescent. So a book with a beautiful cover and or colorful, quirky character. So I ended up choosing something with a very shiny cover, which is Warstorm by Victoria Aveyard. And you can see like the kind of shimmeriness in the design here. And we got lots of shine going against the ring light here. This is what I ended up choosing. This is the last book in the Red Queen series. I have yet to read this book because the second and third books were big disappointments for the setups of the series. So I haven't picked up this one. Eventually, though, I'm going to get to it one of these days. Next, we have November, which is the birthstone as Topaz, and that's Topaz associated with resilience. Name a book with a character who rises to the top in times of adversity. Don't know if this is necessarily like the most like adversity type of situation ever in life, but this is the book that I chose because this is the book that I thought of when I thought of someone who was able to rise to the top in adversity, and that's You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson. Because she is super shy, queer girl who is trying to live her life and be authentic to herself, has the opportunity to get herself nominated for prom queen in order to get a scholarship for a school that she desperately wants to go to. And in doing so, lots of things happen, negative, bad things, but also she ends up really, really growing and learning from it and rising to the top of it in circumstances that can be very difficult, especially for someone who is Black and queer and a minority in her own school, in her own area where she's supposed to feel comfortable. And I think it was a really beautiful description of that and a positive Black joy story and instead of a Black trauma story. So I think it fits, and that's why I chose this one. And it is so beautiful, and I love the story so much. It is so precious. And last but not least, we have December, which is the birthstone for December is Blue Zircon, which is associated with friendship. Name a book with a friendship you want to be a part of. Ironically enough, a lot of book characters I don't want to be friends with. I don't want to be friends with them. Maybe because they make mistakes in life, or maybe because I just don't think that we'd be friends. I don't know. But I ended up really thinking about it, and I was like, well, if there's any friend group that I could see myself like wanting to be a part of, it would probably be Meg Cabot's Princess Diaries. So for that, we have Meg Cabot Royal Wedding, which is the last book in the Princess Diaries series. It's actually the adult book because she later came out with an adult version of the series that is famously in YA. So just because like all of them together, the friend group, Mia, obviously the main character, Lily, her best friend, Lana, her ex-nemesis, Michael, Mia's boyfriend, Tina, and Shamika. So their whole friend group is just, I feel like I grew up with them because I read them starting my freshman year in high school, and then they finished when I was well into college. The book series at least finished when I was well into college, and it followed all like a huge group of them throughout high school, and then you also get to see them in the adult book, which I really, really loved because it was like getting back together with friends that I had forgotten that I had missed. So I definitely think this is the friend group that I and they're all kind of nerdy and eccentric and weird. So I just feel like this is the friend group that I would get along with and that I would do really well with. So that's my answer for that. And that is the Birthstone Book Tag. If you like the tag and want to do yourself, or if you have an affinity for any of these birthstones and these prompts, consider yourself tagged. I don't normally tag people in my videos, so consider yourself tagged if you want to do this tag, and follow Jay and her original tag down below. Comment down below what your birthstone is and for which prompt, what book you would have for your birthstone month, and comment down below your answer. I would really appreciate it. If you like what you saw and want to see more bookish things from me, please subscribe and hit likes and bells, as well as follow me on all the social medias down below that I have linked, and you can follow me on all the things. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye!